This might be the very best budget leather football boot that you can buy anywhere this year, or for any year for that matter. This is the Kipsta Viralto Premium Leather Edition. This comes in at €80 and has a full K leather forefoot. Now, if you are a regular follower of the channel, you will know that I do not review leather football boots, and it's going to be somewhat of the same here. These are not mine. These belong to a good friend of mine at Boot Maniac, Julio. He simply wanted them shipped from here in Europe out to him in the US, where he can't get hold of them. So I just thought it was a good opportunity to maybe showcase this €80 K leather boot to you with a few of the features, but this will not be a full playtest review. So with these not being mine, they are a UK 8, US 9, and taking a look at the weight, they do come in at 277 grams, which absolutely puts them on the heavier end of things. So if an incredibly lightweight boot is what you're looking for, this is not for you. However, if you look at how ridiculously soft that forefoot is, and you can see the cage that's built around the inside of it to help it retain structure, well, I think that extra weight is probably going to be worth it for most people. In terms of sizing, I find personally that Kipsta sizing can run a little bit long, and with this being a leather boot, you might want to consider going half a size down, but head over to my man Boot Maniac Julio and ask him the question, because he is the one that's going to be testing these. Overall build quality and materials look absolutely fantastic, even outside of that leather forefoot. Everything here looks really well put together, especially for that €80 price tag. The only thing that might concern me a little bit is the width of the heel. This has an incredibly wide fitting heel. I'm expecting comfort, but I don't know how much lockdown I would be anticipating. So definitely that to consider. However, with that build quality that I mentioned, Kipsta do something really, really interesting, where they assign all of their boots an XP rating, which essentially means for every 1 XP that they give a boot, that is 1 training session or game that the boot will last before essentially the durability gives up. This is independently tested by Kipsta, or should we say for Kipsta, in France. So a really interesting thing that I always look at for Kipsta boots, and these ones come out with an XP rating of 95. So that gives you 95 training sessions or matches before they expect you to have any durability issues. Now, that is actually on the lower end of what most Kipsta boots come in at. I believe these ones were somewhere in the 160 range, but I don't really see it being an issue, and I still think it's cool to have. I think it's a great piece of information that Kipsta do give out. While we're here, I also want to tell you that my Boot Wizard members have had access to this particular video for over a month before it dropped on the channel. If you want early access to the videos, as well as huge discounts on some big gripsock brands like Apex, WeFoot, and Technigrip, then click the link down in the top pinned comment to find out how you can support the channel and get a whole heap of benefits for yourself. It is greatly appreciated and really, really helps the channel keep going. I showed this mesh-based Viralto just there, which I reviewed quite recently, and both boots do have the same outsole. So they have this dual hardness Flex H outsole, which I'll actually show you on the orange synthetic boot here, simply because it is easier to see the orange than the black. But this area here, the H, is softer. It's not reinforced by this harder orange plastic, and that's where you're going to get your flex and your bend. You don't have an incredible amount of spring back. It's not incredibly responsive, but it is exceptionally good, and I think well built for a boot at this particular price. €80, you can get an awful lot worse than this. I have been quite impressed. You'll also note that it's all conical studs, and on the whole, I'd say this would be fairly good for an FG or AG pitch, but do be aware some of those studs are a little on the long side. If you want to check out a full review of this, then click this video right here. And if you want a full review of this, you need to go and follow @Bootmaniac, my man Julio.